Having done all this work, it might seem a little bit disappointing to end up with grey boxes, but we've done a very important part of the work, and what I'm going to do next in this video is show you that we are not that far away from having a reasonably good looking 3D set. So the idea is going to be that I'm going to do things fairly quickly. It's going to anticipate some of the topics we're going to talk about later on in the module. I'm going to tell you everything I'm doing, so you can definitely repeat what I'm doing, but I won't explain necessarily why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's not going to take that long, and the idea is to project a photograph of this, the photo we have in the environment, onto our geometry, and that's going to create the illusion of a full 3D set. Of course, it's only going to work, this set is only going to work if we move the camera slightly around the position it's in now. And we're going to see how much we could move the camera. So for this, I'm going to create some, I'm going to animate a camera. So first stage is I'm going to show you the outliner, show you the match cam, and I'm going to duplicate that camera because I don't want to mess with this one. So Control D, and that's given us a match cam 1, which I'm going to call shot cam for obvious reasons. And let's go to the channel, and this shot cam is locked because it's been duplicated from a camera that was locked. So let me select everything, right click and go unlock selected. So now I can move that shot cam. So in panels I'm going to select that shot cam, so now I'm looking at the shot cam, which I am free to move. Let me undo this camera move. To undo a camera move, by the way, you need to use the square left bracket. So square left bracket undoes the camera move, and square right bracket redoes a camera move. So it's square left and right, and it's redo, undo, undo, redo. So it's not Z, which is undo an operation you've done. Camera moves are a bit different. Right, so I've done that. What else do I need to do? I need to UV map this, and I'm going to go to, again, I'm not telling you why. This is something we're going to spend a whole unit on, UV mapping, and here I'm just using automatic UV mapping. Don't worry about why I'm doing that. What else am I going to do? I need to, well, I haven't animated my camera actually, so let's do that. Frame 1, so let's select the camera, and this is the shot camera I'm selecting. Frame 1, I'm going to leave it where it is. Okay, so I'm hitting S to keyframe these attributes, and then on frame 24, I'm going to move the camera, let's move it down a bit, and let's dolly forward, something like this. So it could be that sort of camera move. You know, a bit of rotation, so we can see that we've got some 3D thing going on here. Frame 24, I'm hitting S to keyframe the camera in that position. What have we done? We've created a camera move that does this. So frame 1, it is where the match cam was, and then we're moving towards the building. Frame 24, so the camera has done that over 24 frames, which is 1 second. Okay, so let's go back to frame 1, and now we need to do the main thing, which is going to be projecting our photograph onto this. So I'm going to create a new material for this object, and I'm going to create a surface shader, and I'm not going to tell you why. I'm just going to make that gray. Oh, it hasn't, sorry, I don't think I had selected the right thing. So assign new material, surface shader. Interesting. I wasn't in object mode, my bad. So assign new material again, surface shader, and you see it's black, and it's solid black, right? There's no proper shading, it's completely flat. I'm going to click on material attributes. We can make that gray, but again it would be a completely flat color. And now I'm ready to project as a texture, if you like, the photograph of the environment. So I'm going to go to material attributes, and for the out color, which is the color channel for this material, I'm going to select file, but I'm going to right click on this and choose create as projection. So I'm applying an image as a projection onto this geometry, and the type of projection is going to be perspective. I'm going to choose to project it according to the match camera. And final step is I need to select a file, which is going to be my image. It's not in source images for me, it's going to be in assets, plate, and I'm going to use the this one, which is the high-res image. Open, and it doesn't look like anything is happening really. First thing I'm going to do now is actually hide the cameras, because we don't need to see that background image. So in show, I'm going to go and uncheck camera. Okay, so all we're seeing here is the geometry and the environment, which is going to render as black. Alright, so why are we not seeing anything? Because we're not in textured mode. If I hit 4, I'm in wireframe mode, 5 is shaded, and 6 is textured. So as I hit 6, we're seeing some pretty nasty texture. That's because what you're seeing here is, and which camera am I looking at? ShotCam, yeah. What you're seeing here is just real-time rendering. So in real time, you can't render textures necessarily in their full glory, but so that's the default quality rendering, which doesn't look very good for this very high resolution texture. If I go to high quality rendering and I could choose the texture resolution, it's starting to look better. Yeah, let's go back. It's still not looking great, but it's just real-time stuff. When we do a render, so let's render frame 1, we're going to see that it's looking really good. There's a little bit of a gap happening here, so maybe there's been yeah, I'm not sure what's happened with this texture. Nothing to worry about. I think it's just the render size is probably not matching the what is it called? Let's look at the film gate. Film gate and resolution gate probably don't match. Let's not worry about that. Again, I'm not telling you everything I'm doing, but you're seeing, apart from the edge here, everything is looking really good, right? And that's the magic of camera projection. And if I move, so let's move into our shot and let's render another frame, and it's still looking pretty good. And it's all 3D. Again, only the edges are looking nasty because I'm getting a bit of the sky. Here it's looking very sharp, and because we're cutting, that tree. So of course these edges are not going to look good, but you can see what we are getting with this. If I was doing, you need to understand the limitation of this technique. If I do a render from here, you can see that it's not working at all. So there are limits to what we are doing here, and it's important to be aware of these limits. So let's go back to a frame that's reasonable. So let's say I'm moving a bit more here and do a render from here. It's still pretty robust. But here we've got no information. Here we've got no information. Let's see how far down the road we could go. If I go, forward here. Let's see how much resolution we have for this wall. See the stretching we have here, and here how it's starting to look a bit blurry, and here it's not looking well. We've got a window right in the middle of at the edge of the wall, so there's something going on here. I guess it's just at the edge. So there are limits, but you can also see the power of this technique. And what I could do is, and I'm going to do that off camera, is to render an animation. So render a sequence of images which would create an animation, and you could see a preview of this animated.